Hi second year and welcome to week 6 of home learning, and this week in admin we are looking at spreadsheets. Start off with the learning intention success criteria. So this week we are learning about why we use spreadsheets, how to edit spreadsheets, and by the end of the lesson we can identify cells in a spreadsheet, explain the purpose of a spreadsheet, and use formulas to help solve financial problems. First of all, what's the point? We use spreadsheets mostly for dealing with financial information, so anything to do with money works very well through a spreadsheet. They're very good at processing payroll information, keeping track of expenses, stuff like that. They're really good at it. And the bit that makes them really good is they let us automate calculations to make processing information easier, and we'll talk more about that a wee bit later. And they allow us to use different methods to present data to make it easier to understand. We'll be looking at that in a week or two. Right, now normally if we were in school we would be using a spreadsheet package called Microsoft Excel. We can't guarantee everyone can use Microsoft Excel, so we can use Google Sheets the same way we've used the Google Docs before through Google Classroom. That is Google Sheets. It is very similar to Microsoft Excel. All spreadsheets are very similar. There's some minor changes between it, but the actual function and the theory behind it all is pretty much exactly the same. And again, the good bit is we don't have to install anything. It's already part of Glow and Google Drive and Google Classroom that we've already been using. Right, every single spreadsheet we've got is divided into little boxes called cells. There we go. So I left highlighting up before the spreadsheet showed up, but that cell there has got a cell address of A1. So we use the letters and the number like we would use in maths to identify the position of each cell. And in terms of the up and down bits, labelled by the letters are columns. Going across the way, labelled by the numbers, are rows. And being able to label and identify the cells properly is very useful once we are using formulas. Moving on to formatting. There we go. Most of the formatting is exactly the same as we've used before when we're doing word processing stuff on Google Docs or Publisher or whatever else we've been using. So it's bold, italics, font size, font colour, all of that stuff is all still there, and we can make them look any way we like. There's also similar stuff to decorating a table, so line thickness, line colour, fill colour. It's not much of the stuff we'll be using, but it's there if you ever want it. The bit that does matter a bit more and is a bit different here is our number formatting. And the example I've shown you up on the screen here is the one we'll be using today. So in this case, we've got the format menu up the top there, so we click onto it, down to number and into currency, and any number that's typed into that cell will show up as currency, so we don't need to put pound signs in. It will sort the decimal points, it'll make sure it's got the right number of pounds and pence and whatever extra typing in. And the most common ones used are currency and percent up there. Next up, entering information, so how we use the spreadsheets. Very easy. We click in a cell and we type. So here's the example one I've done very quickly. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and a total. 6, 7 and 8, number 1 and 2, and difference for 7 and 3. And this wee example here is to demonstrate a bit later on our formulas. So the formulas on the spreadsheet do the calculations for us. So they're doing all the sums for us, so we don't have to do them ourselves. We just tell the computer what to do. And every formula we do always starts with that equal sign there. Always start a formula with an equal sign, and then we enter the calculation for what we wanted to do. Now, we can start it out really easy. To add 2 and 2 we type equals 2 plus 2. Take 7 away from 9, we take 9, take away 7. Multiplying 3 and 4 equals 3 asterisk 4. So I'm going to use asterisk there instead of the time symbol, because the closer we get to the time symbol, the keyboard's an X, and that's just going to confuse things. Same with divide, we don't have a divide symbol, so we're dividing 10 by 2, and we just type in equals 10/2. Which is great, except those were all really, really, really easy sums, and you don't need a spreadsheet to do them for you. They get more useful when instead of using the numbers, we use the cell addresses that we were looking at earlier. This lets us change the numbers of the calculation without changing your formula by retyping information into the cells. So if we're working with money, as payrolls get updated, as somebody gets a pay rise, as expenses change, all those things can happen automatically and calculate new totals for us without us having to do it all over again, and it's going to save people lots and lots of time and make their lives a lot easier. So here are the two examples. Here's that example from earlier. So to add up our number 1, number 2, number 3, which was 6, 7, 8, I've got equals cell B1 plus B2 plus B3, like that. And for our difference, I've got cell E7 minus E3. Let's take the answers away. Which brings us on to our work for today. First thing I'd like you to do is to complete these spreadsheet quiz on the classroom, and then we're going to complete spreadsheet tasks 1 to 4. Now these spreadsheet tasks are going to carry on from the cash budgets that we were looking at last week. If you didn't get the cash budgets done last week, don't worry about them. It's not necessary for you to do them. Makes it a bit easier to understand where we're going with it, but please just have a go at these ones today, and if you watch the YouTube video, I'll explain how to do that. Good luck everyone, and I will speak to you all soon.